It was meant to be a fun day out with friends, but for 11-year-old Briony Goodsell, it turned out to be a nightmare. Tragically, her body was found after she had gone swimming with her friends and was taken by a crocodile. The last moments of her life were horrifying and heart-wrenching. In this video, we'll explore what happened to Briony and the devastating impact it had on those who loved her. Warning: this is not for the faint-hearted. On March 16, 2009, Briony Goodsell, her younger sister Bethany Goodsell, who was 7 years old, and her friend Naomi Lang were playing at home in a rural area outside of Darwin. Even though it was raining, the girls were having a good time on a Sunday. At the top of Australia's Northern Territory, March is a moody month. At least it's the last month of the wet season, which means floods and cyclones could happen at any time. The days are hot and humid, and it's not unusual for there to be thunderstorms. Exploring the outdoors can be a little tiring, but not when you're a kid and the whole world seems like a great adventure. They all got on bikes and started pedaling at the same time. It was a fun day in all honesty. They weren't going very far from home. They were just going to a place where they could swim. Briony's friends called a creek crossing Black Jungle. They had swum there before, so they knew the area well from what they knew and what they had done there before. Those waters had nothing to be afraid of. The area was open to the public, or more accurately, a part of it was open to the public. Even small children who wanted to play in the water. The real crossing was right next to the gate to the Black Jungle Conservation Reserve from Lambell's Lagoon. Lambell's Lagoon was a suburban area on the edge of the city of Darwin, Australia that is mostly rural. The few hundred people who lived in the town included Briony Goodsell, her sister, and their friends. The Black Jungle Conservation Reserve is a 10,000-acre protected area that is part of the Adelaide River coastal floodplain. It is where they plan to go on their adventure on March 16, 2009. It is a wetland where a lot of different animals live. The bank's open woodland, savanna, monsoon rainforest, and swamps can be found there. It was a great place for outdoor adventures, and during the rainy season they often swam in the rill when it was full of water. On that Sunday, the kids swam near the reserve's entrance, so they weren't quite in the protected area yet. Each access gate had a sign that said you could only get in with a permit. Rangers often had to deal with hunters who got in without permission. Some members of the public have also broken gates and fences with their cars to get into the reserve without permission. Permits, on the other hand, were only given out for scientific research. Briony Goodsell, her sister Bethany, and their friends Naomi and Aiden went swimming for a while on the public side of the fence. But soon after that, they decided to go downstream to a different crossing, this one inside the reserve. This new place to cross the rill had a deeper pool of water that moved less quickly. The four kids had to go through a wire fence and walk a short distance to get to the spot. Even though the reserve is known to be home to some dangerous animals, there was no warning that crocodiles might be in the area. The rangers of the reserve knew that there were a lot of crocodiles in the reserve, especially during the wet season. Even so, the park rangers didn't know that people were swimming at the reserve. After all, the public wasn't allowed in at all. At least from the rangers' point of view, this meant that there was a low chance of crocodiles and people meeting in the reserve, but people were still swimming there. Soon after deciding to swim somewhere else, the kids in Black Jungle Reserve got to the rill crossing. As they had thought, the water levels were high, but the rill was also moving quickly. Anyone over 18 might have been hesitant to go into the water. Adults probably wouldn't have gone in the water at all. It would have been easy to drown, but these kids are fearless. The youngest one of them was only 7. The oldest children, who are only 12 years old, aren't the best at figuring out how dangerous a situation might be. Even worse, these kids didn't even know what was going on. Crocs lived in the area. So instead of worrying about dying around 5:30, a group of 4 people got in the water. They splashed around, swam, and played. They were happy to have some fun, but then, in an instant, everything changed. Briony Goodsell, who was just 11 years old, started to cry out for help all of a sudden. When the other kids looked at the girl, they could see that she was going under. At first, one of her friends thought Briony had a vine wrapped around her waist and she was trying to get free. But then, that friend realized that the truth was much scarier. Their friend yelled, "Crocodile," and turned to look for the other kids. When the kids looked around, Briony was no longer there. The kids climbed out of the water and made their way to safety. The police were notified. The police began to look for Briony. The next day, the body parts of a person were found in a pair of shorts. On Monday, DNA tests showed that the remains were indeed those of Briony's. The remains were found more than 1,400 feet from where the girl went missing on Sunday, and it was said that the crocodile attack was the cause of the death. Even more proof showed that the child was attacked by a saltwater crocodile that was about 10 feet long. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest living reptiles and also the most aggressive species of crocodile. They are the top predators and eat everything alive that they can reach. Monday was spent looking for the crocodile that attacked, but the search was stopped on Tuesday. The decision was made for a simple reason. Rangers thought that the croc went back into a flood, which made it impossible to find. Crocodiles are all over the floodplains. There was no guarantee that the police would be able to find the exact animal that killed Briony Goodsell. The people who lived there didn't know there were crocodiles in the rill, an investigation found. The only person who lived there who seemed to know that there might be crocodiles in the rill had also swum in the same water before. Briony's mother, Charlene, thinks that the way the sign said access only with permit was not clear. She said that the kids might have thought the sign meant that vehicles and hunting were not allowed, but that people could still walk into the area. Even more signs that say things like swimming aren't allowed were also put up. And finally, crocodile warning signs were put up at every gate to the reserve. Even though killing crocodiles was not encouraged, after Briony died, the saltwater crocodile management plan was looked at and changed. The Northern Territory made the current crocodile management plan and gave it their approval. The government tells the people that they will pay more attention to and work harder on public safety. Briony's family asked to be left alone so that they could deal with their grief. In a statement, they said that Briony was a beautiful, fearless, and innocent child who had touched the lives of others. Briony's family also said that her death was a terrible accident. Their statement said kids being kids don't always see possible dangers. No one's at fault for this terrible thing, it's just the way things are. This tragic event serves as a reminder to us all of the dangers that exist in our environment and how we should be aware of them. It also highlights the importance of respecting nature and understanding when it is best to stay away from certain areas. Briony Goodsell's story is one that will remain with us for a long time, reminding us to always be vigilant and not underestimate the power of nature. Our thoughts go out to our friends and family during this difficult time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.